Coveted by empires across the centuries, straddling both Europe and Asia, Istanbul is one of the world's great metropolises. Founded around 1000 BC, the colony of Byzantium grew into the Byzantine Empire's great capital of Constantinople, and after the Ottoman conquest of the city, retained its glorious place as the heart of their empire. The city, officially renamed Istanbul after the founding of the Turkish Republic, is liberally scattered with glorious remnants of its long and illustrious history, and the sightseeing here will impress even the most monument-weary visitor. Of course, it is not possible to mention all the best Istanbul sites, but in this video you may find the most fascinating and the ones that you won't want to miss on your Istanbul visit. 1. Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia was one of the biggest buildings in the world when it was constructed in the 500s. A true architectural masterpiece that influenced building designs and practices. Situated in the heart of Istanbul, Hagia Sophia, meaning divine wisdom, was originally built as an Eastern Orthodox cathedral. It was later converted into a mosque when the city was conquered by Sultan Mehmed II in 1453 CE. It remained a mosque until 1931 when it was turned into a museum. In July 2020, Hagia Sophia changed back into a mosque. Each religion has left its mark on the stunning building. Often said to be one of the most spectacular examples of Byzantine architecture on the planet, the pale building is topped with a glorious dome. There are several half-domes, buttresses, and towers too. 2. Topak Palace. This glorious palace is one of the most popular attractions in Istanbul that served as the administrative quarter of the Ottoman rulers. This vast complex features opulent courtyards lined with hand-painted tile work and sumptuously decorated rooms. This complex of kiosks and pavilions contained by 4 lush green courtyards is where generations of sultans had their principal residence for almost half a century. The main highlight of this palace is the harem, where sultans' concubines used to spend their time. It also has an imperial council chamber, an imperial treasury, and sacred safekeeping rooms. 3. Blue Mosque. The Blue Mosque, or Sultanahmet Mosque, built in the early 17th century, remains an active house of worship today. This means visitors need to time their visits carefully, as the mosque is closed to sightseers during the 5 daily prayer times for Muslims. All visitors must remove their shoes, and women must cover their hair. This is a small price to pay for seeing its priceless treasures that include 20,000 ceramic tiles in various tulip designs and 200 stained glass windows, all with intricate designs. The mosque, built by Sultanahmet, takes its name from the blue tiles on the dome and the upper levels of the interior. 4. Basilica Cistern. The Basilica Cistern is Istanbul's largest surviving Byzantine cistern and one of its most unique historic sites. Constructed in 532 for Justinianus I, this sprawling underground water reservoir, which is roughly the size of 2 football fields, once supplied water to the Great Palace of Constantinople, a large palace that served as the main residence for local emperors for centuries. Though the palace no longer exists, the cistern was rediscovered in 1545 and renovated in 1985 to welcome visitors. Its most noteworthy feature is a pair of Medusa heads that sit upside down at the base of 2 columns. 5. Grand Bazaar. The Grand Bazaar in Istanbul is one of the largest and oldest covered markets in the world, with 61 covered streets and over 4,000 shops, taking up a total area of 30,700 square meters. There are thousands of shops and stalls selling handcrafted Turkish ceramics, carpets, teas, lamps, leather goods and jewelry. It may be overwhelming, but embrace the chance to browse and practice your bargaining skills with the vendors. It's still very much a traditional market, so come prepared with loose change. The shopkeepers speak an astonishing array of languages. 6. Suleimani Mosque. Sitting high on the hill above Sultanahmet district, the Suleimani Mosque is one of the most recognized landmarks of Istanbul. It was built for Suleiman the Magnificent by the famed Ottoman architect, Sinan, between 1549 and 1575. The interior, dominated by its soaring 53-meter-high dome, is notable for its harmonious proportions and unity of design. Outside in the tranquil garden area is an interesting Ottoman cemetery that is also home to the tombs of the Sultan Suleiman and his wife Haseki Hürrem Sultan, known in the West as Roxolana. 7. Spice Bazaar. Smaller than the nearby Grand Bazaar, the Spice Bazaar, also known as the Egyptian Bazaar, was built in the 16th century and features rows of stalls selling spices, sweets, tea varieties, dried fruits and other goods. A great place to shop for spices, Turkish delights and other souvenirs, the Spice Bazaar is also a visual experience as the spice vendors prominently display their colorful wares in large, pyramid-like mounts. As a photographer, I love the Spice Bazaar for its displays of fragrant spices. A small bag of spices to cook something Turkish can make a great souvenir, especially if you take the time to take a cooking class while you are in Istanbul. 8. Yetiye Fortress. Although it's a bit of a schlep on the suburban train to get out to Yetiye, this commanding fortress is well worth it. Built in the 5th century by the Emperor Theodosius II, the fortress made up the southern section of Constantinople's defensive walls. The Mammoth Arch, blocked up in the late Byzantine period, was known as Porta Aurea or Golden Gate, with doors plated in gold. When the Ottomans conquered the city, they used the fortress for defense and later as a prison and execution place. Yetiye has been restored in recent years, and you can climb up to the top of the battlements for superb views across the Sea of Marmara. 9. Galata Tower. Looking for the best view over Istanbul? Look no further than the Galata Tower. Built in the 14th century, the Galata Tower looks out over the Bosphorus Strait towards Sultanahmet, and you can easily pick out features like the grounds of the Topak Palace and the Blue Mosque from the top of the tower. A visit to the tower to enjoy its views is one of the most fun things to do in Istanbul and allows you to grasp just how sprawling and enormous Istanbul really is. If you'd like to stay and relax for a while, there's even a restaurant on the top floor. Unlike many historical towers, the Galata Tower has an elevator installed that is used to transport visitors most of the way up, so a visit to Galata Tower doesn't actually involve much climbing at all. 10. Istiklal Avenue. Visited by nearly 3 million people daily, Istiklal Avenue is the beating heart of the city of Istanbul. This 1.4 kilometers long pedestrian walkway houses everything from cinemas to nightclubs and boutiques to cafes. If you don't feel like walking, you can take the historic tram all the way to Taksim Square to view the Monument of the Republic. Istiklal Avenue has an important role in the history of Turkey. It had witnessed many invasions, festivals, civilizations, and even coup attempts. Today, it is serving as the heart of fun, entertainment and many more. Most of the Istiklal residents are currently foreign people, and it is the most metropolitan avenue of Istanbul.